Hey, welcome back to Storytelling. Thank you so much for joining me here today. My name is Kyle J. And as you can see, I have some friends here with me. I had asked you to get some action figures together. And they could be Playmobil or Lego people. In this case, I have some Pokemon figures and I have some Star Wars figures as well. You might want to get a blanket or a piece of laundry. And you notice that I'm standing up and I'm so much bigger than all of these creatures, and that's because for the first story, we are going to be giants. So, as giants here, like any giants, let's pretend that our nails are really long here, okay? And sharp. And let's pretend that we have really sharp teeth, like maybe you're missing some teeth, right? And you're really scary looking. Also, when you walk, the whole room shakes. Now, for the giant in this story, unfortunately, he wasn't that great at being a giant. For example, he wasn't very scary. In school, instead of having math and reading and writing, they had cursing and stomping and scaring. And he wasn't really very good. In fact, he always got D's and F's. Now, when he went to the pet store, he could have picked out any pet. And for example, he could have gotten, well, a dragon, or he could have gotten, well, a dinosaur, or he could have gotten a large turtle thing. But instead, he just picked a hen. Now, okay, this hen was magical. It did lay golden eggs. But you can see he was very calm. All day long, what he liked to do was he liked to just sit and, he would stroke the hen's feathers and be very, very nice to this hen. It was his favorite thing in the world. Now, I need you to pretend that you're asleep as a giant. And giants are very loud. So, how loud can you snore? Your snoring should be so loud, the whole room shakes. Try again. All of a sudden, you hear from your big ear down the hall. You wake up, rub your eyes, and you see a little figure who has your head. Now, you know that living up in the clouds where the giants live, there's a whole world down below. But you've never been down there. You also don't know, wait a minute, how did you get up here? And then you see, it looks like the stalk of a bean. And all of a sudden, this creature is climbing down the stalk. So if you have your action figure, pretend that he's going from way up high in the air all the way down to the floor. And when he gets there, he's gone. He runs off. Well, what would you do? Your pet has just been taken from you. Yeah, I would climb down after it as well. So let's pretend that you're climbing down, right? Being that you're a nice giant here, you don't want to jump down onto Earth because you know if you land, all the houses are going to shake. And you're nice. You don't want that to happen. So you're climbing down. You're getting leaves in your hair. Oh, you're getting dirt everywhere. Dirt's all over your face. So So not only are you a giant, but now you're covered in leaves and dirt. Jeez. Okay, so let's pretend we're down on the ground now. And you're back to being a person. And you're asleep. Now, maybe you're asleep in your house, or maybe you're asleep in a car taking a trip. But when you rub your eyes and open them and look out the window, all you see is one giant eyeball. And if you're the giant, what you're doing is you're looking into someone's house or looking into someone's car. Now, if you're the person that just woke up, how would you react? Show me. Right? You might be, ah! And that's what these people did. They saw the giant coming at them. And they did whatever you would do. They ran. So real quick, show me how fast can you run? Some of these people, they hid. So if you have your blanket or piece of laundry, hide under it. Now, all this giant wanted to do was ask, well, have you seen this? Well, this figure, and have you seen his pet? He didn't want to eat anyone. He didn't want to hurt anyone. Now, he couldn't remember all of the bad curses because, well, he didn't do very well in school. So when he got down, when he finally saw these creatures, he said, what would be a good curse I could say to them? Oh, I know. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Let's get some practice with that. Fee, fi, fo, fum. All right, so let's try that again. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Where is my pet? Now, all the creatures ran away, except for a trusty squirrel. Now, a squirrel is very used to having creatures that are much bigger than it. So the squirrel didn't run away. He said, have you seen my pet? And the squirrel responded, like any squirrel does, which means, oh yeah, Jack has it. Jack. Who is this Jack? I need to find this Jack. Do you know this Jack? The squirrel said, which means, yeah, I know Jack. He lives up on that hill with his sister Jill. The giant said, okay, thank you. And he started stomping off. So pretend you're walking around, and every time you step, the whole ground shakes. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Have you seen my pet? He picked up a tiny creature. Well, tiny to the giant, right? It's tiny to us. Have you seen Jack? Now, this figure, right, talked very softly. So pretend your figure is whispering in your ear. Jack. Yeah, I know Jack. Jack, he's very, very skinny. He lives over there with his wife, who has very rosy, plump cheeks. Thanks. Walk all over. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Pick up another figure here. Jack, where's my pet? You soon realize, well, this is not the Jack you're looking for. Put him down. You see, a man in uniform who is actually looking for a giant. You go up to him. He says, "Hey, you're the giant we need." Take your giant hand and wave it across and says, "I'm not the giant you're looking for." He says to his friends, "This isn't the giant we're looking for." And you carry on your way. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Get another action figure. Pull him up. Shake him. If you don't tell me where Jack is, that's it. I'm going to eat you. As you can see, this action figure was on the lookout here. So, he said, "Check out the marketplace. I saw Jack run over there. He's probably trying to sell your pet." "Sell my pet? Oh no!" Now along the way, you pass a farm. And there's a lot of cows there. They were mooing what the giant says. A giant curse. How did these cows know it? Fee, fi, fo, fum. Fee, fi, fo, fum. You pick up a cow along the way. So take your smallest action figure that you have. And if you don't have action figures, it's okay. We can pretend. You pick this up. You head over to the marketplace. Hi, squirrel. I'm going to move you over here to your tree. Thank you. You see a lot of different creatures here. And in the corner, you see Jack. And he's sitting in the corner. And in his lap, he has a hen. He's so sad. And you talk to Jack and you say, "Jack, I want my hen back." And Jack says, "I want my cow back. I had to sell my cow for some magic beans. And I thought, if I could just get a different pet, maybe it would help me. And I wouldn't have to miss my pet so much." You say, "Jack, what was your pet?" He said, "I had a cow that I had to get rid of. A cow. And I'll tell you, he was not going to give him milk, but Mom said we had to get rid of him, not because of the milk, but because he had a foul mouth." Suddenly you realize, wait, the cow had a foul mouth? You just heard some cows on the way who were cursing like giants. It all starts to make sense. You say, "Jack, I'll tell you what. If I can find your cow, will you trade me back my pet?" Jack says, "Yes, of course, definitely." Pick up your action figure. After all, you are a giant. With one move of your arm, you can cross miles. Bring Jack over to the field of cows. Jack gets reunited with his cow. You get your hen back. And it's happily ever after. But the story does not end there. You see, our giant was the first giant to ever make it down to earth and survive. So when he climbed back up the beanstalk, pretend we're climbing, we're going back up to the clouds where the giant lived, all of his friends, all of his teachers said, "Jack, we know that you didn't do so great in school, but maybe you would be great at writing a book. Math and reading and writing, those are your subjects." So Jack thought about his adventures that summer, and when he got back to school, he wrote a book called The Giant and the Beanstalk. So I hope with all of your adventures this summer that you begin to write your book in a couple weeks. Alrighty, thank you. Our next story is about 3 wolves and 1 big giant pig. So, I had asked you to get some items together for that story. And if you could get those together now. 1, you might need a piece of string. 2, if you could get a piece or 2 of scrap paper, that would be good. 3, if you could get an empty aluminum can, like a soda can, that would work. And 4, if you could get a flower together. These are going to be things that we build with. So we're looking for 4 items, if you have them. And if not, well, we'll just pretend. So we're looking for a piece of string, if you have it, or a piece of rope, something. We're also looking for scrap paper. Any color paper is good for this. If you have an empty aluminum can, like a soda can, that'll work. And then a flower. And it can be real and it can be fake. It's up to you. These are 4 items that we're going to use for our story. And in our story, we are wolves. Now, as wolves, we're small, actually. We're not big, bad wolves. We're actually pretty tiny. And we're laying around our wolf bed, and there's 3 of us. So imagine that it's you and 2 brothers or sisters, or 2 cousins, or 2 friends. And we're all laying around in bed. And you know how wolves sleep. They howl. So let's hear you howl. And if you have a dog, you know that dogs sometimes put their paws up like this and sleep. They might even kick in their sleep. So let's see that. They were having a nightmare of a big, bad pig. Oh, this pig was a giant hog, and all he loved to do was knock down wolves' houses. Your day starts by a tongue licking you. You look around, it's Mama Wolf. She's licking you to wake up. Little kits, it's time for you to go off and live on your own. Let's hear a real sad howl. But Mama, we don't want to leave. She says, it's time. I have a new litter coming. It's time for you to make it out in the world. If you stick together, you 3 wolves, you might just make it. So, well, wolves don't sit like this, so let's go on all 4s. They all start walking down the road here, and they start thinking, we need to live in a house. What can we make our house out of? The first wolf has an idea. Oh, how about grass? Wouldn't grass be nice? They think, I don't know. Wolves like dirt somewhat, but they don't want to live in a hole, right? The second wolf had another idea. How about sticks? Could that work? Sticks? Where are we going to get sticks from? The other 2 said. The third one, well, he had an idea. because pushing a whole cart of string was a giant kangaroo. Boom, 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 boom. Here's where you're going to use your string. They think, oh my goodness, what a great idea. Let's build a house out of string. So if you have your string, or you can pretend here, start making a house out of string here. Make a lot of loops. You want to have 4 walls, so right in front of you, to the side, behind, and the other wall. And don't forget the ceiling. So, if you have your string, you can put it on the floor or next to you. These wolves were living a great life here. It was so soft, very free-flowing air in their house until one day they heard it coming. Boom, 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 boom. They looked out. They smelled. Oh no, it was the big, bad pig. And he says, if you can, knock on the floor. Little wolves, let me in, let me in. And the wolves, you know, not by the hair of our chinny chin chin. And the pig says, then I'll huff, then I'll puff, then I'll blow your house in. Well, the door doesn't open, so you know what the pig does. Take a big breath here and blow your string. Well, when that string blew, the whole house came in. And they got all tangled in the string, so you're stuck, you're tangled, you see that pig coming after you, you need to be running away, right? So back on all fours. I think he's gone. Now, wolf number 2 saw a giant snake. Who had paper. He thinks, let's make a house out of paper. Let's recycle. How awesome would that be? These are very eco-friendly wolves. So now with your paper, if you could, you can rip, and almost like you are going to be gluing this together, right? So you're going to wet it with your wolf tongue, and then you're going to stick it. So stick paper on all 4 walls. Don't forget the floor and the ceiling. Life was good for a couple days until you heard boom, 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 and you smelled. Oh no. Ooh, it's the big bad pig. Give a knock on the floor. Hey there, little wolves, let me in. You know what the wolves say. No, not by the hair on our chinny chin chin. You know what the pig says, right? Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Well, the door didn't open, so this pig was a pig of his word. And most of the paper blew. Well, they couldn't live in a house like this. There was no ceiling on there. And the pig decided to jump in. Well, like any wolf would, he ran away. The third pig had an idea. I'm sorry, the third wolf had an idea. Why don't we build our house out of cans? Yeah, there's cans all around us here. So if you have your can, make sure you stack your can up. So pretend you're stacking it up. You live in a house full of stacked up cans. Perfect, right? Yeah. They keep out the rain, right? There might even be something left in the can if you get thirsty. Well, maybe not this can, right? Everything was good. Except for in the middle of the night even, this pig never slept. They heard boom, 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 and they smelled. Can you let out a sad howl? Oh, 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 oh. For they knew there was going to be a knock on the door. Yes? Open up this door here. Open up this door, said the pig. The wolf said, no, not by the hair of our chinny chins. And what did the pig say? And I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house of cans in. Well, the door didn't open, and the pig was a pig of his word. So huff, puff, and blow the cans in. Well, what do you think the wolves did? They ran! They decided to put their wolf heads together and they thought, we are going about this all wrong. Why don't we make a house out of flowers? So if you have your flower, start to put your flowers everywhere. They had a pink wall over here. They had a yellow wall out in front. They had a nice blue wall over here. They had a white wall back here. They had all green on their ceiling, right? They had a purple front door. Hopefully it worked. Cross your paws here. They smelled a pig coming. And they heard boom, 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 boom. There was a knock. Open up in there. No, not by the hairs of our chinny chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in, said the pig. Well, the door didn't open. So the pig huffed. And when he did, when he breathed in through his mouth and his pig snout, he breathed in the wonderful scent of the flowers. And that changed him. He had never smelled something so delightful in all his pig years. And right then, he turned from a mean pig to a very nice pig. And he even did a little pig jig out on the meadow. Well, the wolves saw a big change in this pig. And they asked, Mr. Pig, would you like to come in and breathe some flowers all afternoon? And so the pig did, and he never left. And that's the end of our second story here. Great job blowing the houses down as the pig. Good job howling like wolves. we have time for one more story. And this story is called Prince Cinders. Now then, we asked you to get a couple things for this story, if you have it. You're going to need a sponge or a scrub brush of some kind. Or we can pretend. Also, you'll need something you can use for a magic wand here. And, well, it doesn't need to be a magic wand at all. After all, we're pretending. So this is my magic wand I'm going to use here. If you have it, if you have a toy car or an action figure from the first story, you can use that as well. But it's not necessary. So for this next story, we'll need to pretend that we're cleaning. So get your sponge or your scrub brush and scrub the floor if you can. For this story, you're tall, you're skinny, and you have big brothers. And when we say big, you got a lot of muscles here, so show us your muscles. And they're very hairy. So pretend that you have a big mustache, a big beard, long hair. You have hair all over your arms, all over your legs here. Because if you were real hairy and big, all the princesses liked you. That's just how the world was back then. Unfortunately, Cinders over here was skinny, tall, and hairless. Which meant he had to clean. Every night, his big hairy brothers went out to the disco ball here. And they loved to dance here. Now let's see some of your dance moves, right? These dance moves were the hit of the disco ball. And Cinders' brothers were awesome at them. Oh, you should have seen the princesses go goo goo gaga for all these dance moves. Great work. Yeah, back to Cinders. Cinders is sitting around wishing, man, I wish I could go to this ball just once. They would never let me in. Just then, right through the fireplace, fell a little tiny creature. Make sure you're coughing. All the soot. Fairy godmother at your service. Cinders looked at the fairy godmother. Fairy godmother looked at Cinders. And you could tell this was her first day on the job. Things might not have gone as planned. She had her magic wand here, which, well, looked like something you might use in the kitchen. She pointed it and said, I know what you want. You want to go to the ball, right? He said, yeah. She said, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a nice car for you. So, well, what kind of spell did she make? Let's see. We need some words that rhyme. Knee of ear and apple and pear. Well, it sort of rhymed. Get this Cinders, a bear and a car. Well, all of a sudden, the sponge started moving. And it turned into a car. The only thing is, it wasn't a big fancy car. It was actually the size of this. So, it was a car. It was only 3 inches long, though. Hey, at least she tried, right? Okay, let's have another spell. Cinders, you need something to wear here, right? A nice suit. Okay, something else that rhymes. From our other story. Oh yeah, we had a can can rhymes with a lot. All right. Can of tan. And Dan, turn this man into a fan. The can started moving. Started changing. He felt like, so imagine like you're wearing clothes and they're getting tighter and tighter, and your neck's getting squeezed. And whoosh, well, you look around. Oh, you're wearing a suit, actually. Yeah, you're wearing a swimsuit. Right? So you're looking around, you think, wait a minute, how am I going to get to the disco like this? One more thing. He needed to be hairy and big. Okay, what else could we use that run? Oh, car. Yeah, car rhymes with a lot. What are some words that rhyme with car? Far and mar and dar and yar. And just then, right, his shoe started to turn. Hair started sprouting from the shoe, right? So you should have your shoe in your hand here. Hair started sprouting. He started feeling funny. He definitely started to feel hairy. And when he opened his eyes, he thought he was a real big, hairy creature. And he was. He turned into a giant monkey. So what do monkeys sound like? But the only thing is, with this spell, he didn't think he was a monkey. Because when he looked into the mirror, pretend you're looking into a mirror, you think you look very, very handsome. And you notice, you think you have a nice suit on. With tie, pants, tails in the back. Oh, yeah. But to everyone else, you were a giant monkey in a swimsuit. Well, if you have your car here, you can pretend that you're going to ride this like a skateboard, right? You go down to the local disco ball. Now you're a giant monkey. So when you look in, well, you see your brothers. You see your brothers here, and you look around, and they're tiny, like your action figures if you have them, right? And you're looking into the disco ball, and you see your brothers here. Well, just then, you see a princess. She's tiny. She's waiting at the bus stop here. And you think that you're, well, a regular hairy gentleman. But really to her, you're a monkey. So you talk to her, and you think you're saying, wow, do you know what time the bus comes? And really, you're actually saying, and she screams. Let's hear a scream from you. And while she's screaming, you feel like you're changing. Things are moving. So start scratching your hair. Start rubbing your eyes. Pulling your ears. Moving your chin. Stretch out your arms here. Kick out your legs. And before you know it, you have turned back into Cinders. Long and skinny. The princess sees you and thinks, oh my gosh, you saved me from the giant monkey. Well, just then, she gives you a hug and you think, oh no, who's hugging me? You start running as fast as you can. And you leave behind a shoe. Now, this isn't just a regular shoe. Because you're so skinny, it's a very tiny, skinny shoe. Well, cut to Brie and the princess. The princess puts up a sign. And on the sign, it says, looking for Cinders. Or, well, she didn't know it was Cinders, right? Shh, cross that off. looking for skinny man who saved me from the giant monkey. I have a skinny shoe. Come by. Fittings will start at 2 p.m. So all these big, hairy men, right, tried to fit into a shoe and it wouldn't fit. So try to put your shoe on your foot and it just doesn't work, right? It's your foot's too big for it. Well, come 5 o'clock, there weren't any men left. The princess had to go out to the different houses. So she starts knocking on the door. Hello, hello, let me in. Right? Well, most houses let her in. They try to get their foot in. It doesn't work. She comes across one house. Hello, hello, let me in. She hears, not by the hair of our chinny chin chin. Wait a minute, that's a different story. She finally comes to a house of 3 big, hairy brothers. And they try as their might. They try to put the shoe on. Then she sees someone who looks familiar in the corner. So if you have your scrub brush, you're scrubbing everything. You're rubbing, you're getting sweaty here. Right? She says, wait a minute. He looks familiar. Try on the shoe. So now when you try on the shoe, it fits. The princess jumps for joy. Woo! And she knows that Cinders is, well, the one who saved her from the monkey. Is this the end? You'll have to come back next week as we have more stories and maybe the end of this story. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I hope you come back next week. Next week, our 3 stories will have to do with school. We'll have stories about dinosaurs. We'll have stories about a girl named Chrysanthemum. And we'll have a story in which we act like a funny dog. Thanks for joining me. Bye.